everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie, and whether you are new or you are back, I'm so glad that you're here today to join me for a post review video. Post review videos are just where I like to take some time to share with you a completed diamond painting kit and talk through the things that I enjoyed about working on it and any challenges that I ran into. Hopefully this gives you a sense for if this is a particular project you'd really love to work on, or if not the specific project, if this type of project or this shop is one that you'd like to consider purchasing from as well. So I have a post review playlist that'll be linked in the description box. I have reviewed a variety of different companies here on my channel in my 3.5 years plus of diamond painting, and I hope that you find those reviews helpful so you can decide where you want to spend your money. So the kit I'm going to be sharing with you guys today is actually, well, it's obviously our one and only god of mischief, Loki, but this is not a traditional diamond painting. This is not your typical diamond painting kit. Rather, this is what's called a cross-stitch conversion project. And what that means is that I have actually taken a cross-stitch chart and read it and converted it to a diamond painting on, this was a blank canvas actually, and so it involved a lot of counting and whatnot, and is definitely a different sort of challenge from your typical diamond painting, but there's tons of pros to and upsides to being able to work on cross-stitch charts as diamond paintings. It opens up a really just huge variety of artwork to work on as a diamond painting that's not otherwise licensed as diamond paintings, like this piece. Mandy Manzano is licensed, has licensed some of her work to a shop in the diamond painting world, but a lot of her artwork is not available as a standard diamond painting. However, Mandy Manzano has licensed charts like this one to a cross-stitch chart shop on Etsy called Creatively Stitching. And Creatively Stitching actually works with a diamond painting shop called Jaded Gem Shop, and there's just this really easy option for ordering these panels, these panels and the materials and the chart and everything together. And so I feel like this can actually be a decent starting point for if you're not terribly familiar with, cross-stitch conversions and whatnot. So anyway, before I get any further into that, let me give you a quick rundown of the stats and whatnot. So I have my diamond painting logbook here, which I always just kind of do a little mini flip through so you guys can see just where I track my various diamond painting projects I've completed over the years and worked on. I'm filling it up, you guys. So I typically, what I'm going to have to do is grab a picture of this and put it in here, because that's what I prefer to do, is to have a picture of the artwork in here, just so, it's easier to reference. So I track things like the size and my start and end date, if there were any events that I worked on this for, and obviously things I loved, or meh, as I put it, and any other notes that I made. So this is, the name of this chart is Loki, and it is by the artist Mandy Manzano, and Mandy Manzano has licensed this to Creatively Stitching on Etsy. And that's just the cross-stitch chart is what you're buying from Creatively Stitching. You need to get your canvas and your diamonds from another source. There are lots of shops out there. I really appreciate the ease that Jaded Gem Shop offers for projects like this one, and for a lot of the panels that Creatively Stitching has to offer. I really, really love the ease of that, because otherwise, you can source your materials from elsewhere, but it is going to require a lot more work on your part. Jaded Gem Shop also offers the option of what they call a KUP Service, which I did purchase to try out for this kit, and I'll tell you more about that in a bit. The size on this one is 36 by 108 centimeters, and it says colors 99-ish, and I'll explain that in a bit. Has square-shaped drills, which, I feel like almost all cross-stitch conversion projects that you do, I think you should do with square-shaped drills, because that's going to cover up the blank canvas, which is just a white background behind this. If you were to do round drills, you would see that white peeking out around the diamonds. So just to keep that in mind. I started this in October, actually, for Drills and Chills. It was kind of a spontaneous start, and I finished it here mid-December. It was my 146th finish of all of my diamond painting, career, and my 40th finish of 2023. So yeah, I purchased the chart from Creatively Stitching, and then the materials from Jaded Gem Shop. Let me show you. I had to plug in my tablet. Let's see if it's got enough charge here to cooperate. I did use the Pattern Keeper app. You can see some of my other cross-stitch conversions that I've worked on. And basically, I like the Pattern Keeper app because it just makes it really easy to select and track your chart. That's kind of what it looks like when it's all completed in here, and a list of zeros over here. I like that you could track like your percentage of progress. Just the whole process of working with Pattern Keeper I found to be really a lifesaver. I can't imagine working with a paper chart. It's hard for me to demo this for you because it's already completed, but I will, if you want to find out more about working with Pattern Keeper and suggestions that I have for that and just watch me working with it, I do have a cross-stitch conversion playlist that I will have linked in the description box below. And I actually did a check-in on this piece when I was about halfway done with it, and I talked through a lot of my learnings and my thoughts and was able to show you more of that because there was some blank canvas there for me to demo with you. Now let me show you. This is actually relatively tall. I started down at the bottom and I ended up, you guys, I ended up rolling it as I went and just I had just a couple of really cheap, easy clips that I would roll it and then clip it and just sort of let it hang off the table. I did not run into any issues with any diamonds falling off, even though, like, you know, maybe my torso was slightly rubbing against it at the table's edge. I did not have any trouble with that whatsoever, and I just found that easier to work with that way. And I wanted to end like at kind of the focal point. I thought, let me start with kind of this a little bit more boring part and then end up there. And my process for working on it was to work on it in full rows across. And again, you can't really see it at all, but the way that the grid on both the Pattern Keeper app with the chart, the cross stitch chart, and the grid that's on the blank canvas itself is it breaks it down into these 10 by 10 squares. And the way that I ended up working on this piece was that I basically worked in these rows across that were 10 drills high. And I worked in 2 of those at once and would just I'd start over here and do one color. I would always start with the 310, which is this black outline. It's really characteristic of Mandy Manzano's artwork. I would start with the black outlines and go all the way across. And then I'd go back over, I'd pick another color and kind of fill it in and go all the way across those 2 rows and so on and so forth. This is actually a really big departure for me in terms of, not maybe a big departure, it is a notable departure for me from how I have approached past cross-stitch conversion projects. And I should note, this is the first and only cross-stitch conversion project I've actually completed in its entirety, like the whole chart. And so I'm trying to take some of my learnings from this into my other projects that I have going. And I think that is something I do want to try is going ahead and doing a whole color, the whole row across, and working in kind of maybe slightly bigger sections that way. I don't know. I wonder if that would maybe work better for my brain. So I'm gonna test it out and see if I want to take that learning from this kit into another one. I feel like as cross-stitch conversion projects go, this is probably not what I would suggest a beginner start with. As far as if you've never done a conversion project before, this is probably a bit much. I actually really love these little mini cross-stitch conversion project sets that Jaded Gem Shop has put together. I've unboxed them on a couple on my channel before, and I love them. They're little. It is the perfect beginner intro to, like, is cross-stitch conversion to a diamond painting is that kind of project for you? I would absolutely recommend starting with something like that. It comes with all the materials you need, including the chart. I feel like they're generally really beginner friendly with lots of color blocking. They're hand charted pieces that Jaded Gem Shop has done, and I cannot recommend them highly enough. I wouldn't say just in my personal opinion, and I'm comparing this to the other projects I've worked on, the cross-stitch conversions I've worked on, I would not call this necessarily an advanced piece. I would say that this piece is kind of an intermediate. I felt like it was a lot easier to work on than my other bigger conversions have been, and I feel like it's generally more accessible. I feel like especially you know, especially if you fill in like the black outlining first, it's almost like you're creating like coloring page lines for yourself that then you get to fill in, and you have those points of reference that are so helpful. And so that is just my slightly kind of inexperienced opinion on where I would place these in terms of skill level or experience level. Maybe these princess panels, which I know, like Loki, not technically a Disney princess, but this is kind of that panel style. I think for Mandy Manzano is going to have a lot of the same features. And yeah, so I would say maybe this isn't necessarily what you want to start with unless you want to go big or go home, like I tend to do. But it's certainly, you know, it's not as difficult as, you know, it's not as confetti heavy and involved and tricky and not as many colors as some other kits I've worked on. Let me talk through some of the things that I loved and some challenges that I ran into. So first, I have to say that I love this character and this artwork. Like I said earlier, I love that cross-stitch conversions opens up a whole new world of diamond painting, or of things we can diamond paint. And because there is so much licensed cross-stitch artwork out there. And so I got to work on this artwork that I love that isn't otherwise available as a diamond painting. And I can't underestimate like how important that is. And I love Mandy Manzano's art style. I think that it works pretty well as a diamond painting. And in these cross-stitch charts, I thought that as far as the materials go, that most of the drill color quality, like 95 to 98% of them were great. I didn't have any issues. And like I said earlier, this particular chart was just generally easier and faster to work on than past cross-stitch conversion projects that I've tackled. It really was. Even though the start and end dates that I mentioned were 2 months apart, I had multiple other projects going at the same time. And there was like a good almost a month in there that I did not work on this. When I was really focused on it, if I tried to break it down to how many days do I think it took me as far as my average diamond painting time goes, I mean, less than 3 weeks. I think maybe 2.5 weeks. If I'm just breaking down into days, like it went fast for a cross-stitch conversion for sure. And I loved, like I said, the process of working on it full rows across. Now, I liked that I didn't have to kit up. I did get the KUP service, and I had decided to go with these. They're called 1x1 containers. There are different storage options you can choose when you're doing the KUP service. My friend Lindsay from Emeralds and Fairy Lights, at the time that I ordered this, which was over a year before I actually started working on it, my friend Lindsay had said, oh, I really love these 1x1 containers. Like, they're my new favorite. And I thought, well, okay, I'll try them. I have to say, I'm just going to be completely honest. Well, I loved that I did not have to kit this up myself. It was all done for me. And it was really, nicely done. I didn't like these containers personally. The way that it worked is that there would be, the sticker, and then the symbol is the one that's on the far left. And there's kind of the color. This is the DMC code, and the number on the right is the number of that color that are in the paint that's in the painting. And then there would just be this one sticker, like a 310, and then these were all 310 that were full at the time, and so on and so forth. I just found these containers to be a bit finicky. Now, I did end up with a defective set, and Jade Gem Shop replaced them for me. That's why there were a few that had popped open and some colors that got mixed, like you can see here. But like I said, Jade Gem Shop did replace them for me. But even still, the ones that were not defective, I think I prefer containers that it's like they come in a variety of different sizes, and so I can choose what I want to work with. As far as like, I like my Elizabeth Ward containers where I can have like all my 310 and like a big chunky container as opposed to this setup. And I just, I was shuffling around a lot. But that's not on Jada Gem Shop. That is on me and just my personal preference. I think, like I said, Lindsay loves these, or she did when I ordered them. I'm not sure if they're still her favorites or not, but I think that's why it's nice that there's multiple options out there as you decide what works for you. And either way, like I said, I love that I didn't have to do the kitting up. It was just, here it came. It came with the drills all kitted up and the canvas all packaged and delivered to me. And you can't, I mean, you're going to pay obviously extra for the KUP service because it is an additional service. You're paying not only for the materials, but for the time that goes into kitting up. But I know that a lot of people really hate the process of kitting up. And so that's nice that is an option. As far as some challenges that I ran into, or some just thoughts that I wasn't sure about, and I want to make sure that I point out, is one of those is the overall effect of the rendering. I feel like if you're looking at it, I don't know. I'm trying to think how to put this. I tend to pay a lot of attention to rendering. It's one of the things that tends to matter the most to me when it comes to diamond paintings. And when it came to this one, I was overall actually honestly really content with how it turned out. However, I am so curious what this would look like if it had been hand charted in some form. In my opinion, this looks like it is a pure computer render with very little touch-ups done. The reason I think things like that is because there will be some areas like down here, it's like there's one drill in this light color that's just sort of randomly placed right here. There's some other odd, just sort of, I don't know what you would call that, like pixelation choices like these random little spots down here, these random light dots. There's some random blue dots like in his face. There are some colors that, let me see, like, okay, this color and this color, there's literally only two of each of that color, or these three colors, only two of those colors in the entire canvas. There are several colors that they're just in the single digits for how many of them are in this canvas, and it just kind of feels like is one way to consolidate. It's, is one way to sort of clean up. Here, there's one. It's literally only one of this color. Would it have been worth it to try to clean it up? I don't know what that looks like. I'm not a rendering artist. I'm not a small shop, but I just kind of wondered, like, ooh, this is to me obviously very much a pure computer render. I think when you step back and look at it from a viewing distance where you can see the whole thing, I think it comes together, and I think because of Manny Manzano's art style, which is stained glass, which has kind of a mosaic, like a particular effect, I don't mind it because I think that it sort of suits her art style, but I want to point out that I noticed that. One other major thing is that, I'm seeing this from a lot of companies lately, especially even like top-notch companies that I am used to top-notch quality from. The 310s in this kit had a lot of trash. They really had a lot of trash. I ended up purchasing some extra drills. I could have told Jade to jump shop that there was too much trash and I didn't have enough usable drills, and I am positive that they would have sent me more. But I just chose to buy them myself, in part because I just wanted to have more to work with. I didn't want to have to pick around and find the good drills. I wanted to be able to multi-place. And so I purchased some replacement drills. I'm trying to remember which shop it was from. If it was Diamond Drills USA or similar, I'll double check. I'll link it below. But I bought extras. I made sure I got resin squares so that it would match this kit. And there were some other colors I just got nervous that I was going to run out of, and so I bought some extras. As it turns out, I did not run out of any colors. The only color that would have given me trouble was the 310. And like I said, that's part of Jada Gem Shop's guarantee, is that if you have something like that happen, like too much trash, they'll send replacements. But I didn't want to bother. I just was like, it's mostly that I just don't want to have to pick around. And I just wanted to place the order and have it done. So that is something I do want to mention, though. I'm noticing it with a lot of companies lately. Those 310s, man. But of course, I want to give you guys as honest and authentic an opinion as I possibly can. But you guys, this is my first completed cross-stitch conversion project. Loki, the one and only. I don't know if I will have popped this up earlier in the video, but just in case I didn't find a good spot to do so, I'm going to pop a picture up on the screen where you can actually see me holding this panel, see kind of for size how big it is. And I hope you could just see how happy I was to actually work on this artwork. It makes me feel more confident about tackling these panel projects. And I know a lot of people are disappointed that they missed out on Manny Manzano kits when they were at Diamond Art Club. And so this is one way that you can still, ethically access this artwork to work on. It's licensed from the artist. and enjoy it as a diamond painting. So feel free to take a look at the cross-stitch conversion playlist that's going to be linked below, where you'll see a variety of videos where I have worked on and talked about my process for working on different cross-stitch conversion projects, and this review will go on there as well. But I think I'm going to try to get back to my other really big project, my long-term project that's been going for a year and a half at this point, and I am excited to continue working on that and taking my learnings from this kit into that project as well. So I hope you'll stick around to see my thoughts on that as I go. And with that in mind, feel free to subscribe if you want to stay up to date with my diamond painting content. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the description, or sorry, in the comments below. Have you worked on a conversion project before? Have you tried one of these panel projects from Creatively Stitching, or, you know, gotten the packages from Jaded Gem Shop? I'd be curious to hear your thoughts, but I'm happy, you guys. I would totally get another, really what this comes down to is, would I buy this again, or would I go ahead and buy another kind of like panel pack from, you know, the chart from Creatively Stitching and the materials from Jaded Gem Shop? 100%, no doubt. I absolutely would, and I probably will. So anyway, you guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope that you have a day and a week that is as wonderful as you are, and I'll chat with you in the next one. Bye.